You know what I'm
It's
saying?
a capsule.
They're mad cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad cause you wanna be you. They're mad cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad cause you.
Okay, check it out. I hear this stuff.
Welcome to the Hub Motivator Podcast, where we hustle and motivate and inspire. And man, I ain't been in this studio in a long time, but we got a great guest today. We got Moe, man. What's going down, Moe?
What's going on? What's going on, JR, man? Thanks for having me, bro. I'm excited, man. I'm ready to have this deep conversation, man. And it's an honor, man. I've been watching you on social media. I see the movement. I've been inspired, bro, and I've been anxious to connect with you, man.
Man, it's finally good to meet you. I see you too. I see you be working out, everything. I see you speaking. You got a compelling story. We're going to get into it, but at the end of the day, I am not inspired by a lot of people. And I don't want the world to think that's cockiness. It's just that I saw so much of the world that it's a lot of fakery going on. And I see you are just so real and authentic in who you are. And the imitation is in the flattery of the world, what they're doing right now to pretend to be what you are doing right now. It's so crazy, but I love everything that you got going on. I watch your story. I'm a fan.
Appreciate
I
it,
watch
bro.
everything that you're
mutual.
doing. I want you to keep pushing, first of all, and don't stop. And I'm happy that you got into the movement that you are right now to be an emotional coach, an emotional intelligent coach, just to talk to everybody. And I love the fact that you brought your mentee with you too. So let's get into it. Tell the world who you are, where you from, and let's get into it.
Yeah, man. So, for starters, I'm Moe Nelson. I'm from Tampa, Florida, home of the Buccaneers, 813. I love it all day, man. I ain't never leaving.
Yeah.
And I'm an emotional intelligence development coach. I help people build and manage their emotions effectively that will enable them to 10x their life performance, whether it's in business, working careers, interpersonal relationships, and just any type of personal endeavors, man. Emotions are like the catalyst of our life. It's the way we experience the world around us, and they influence our everyday decisions, our actions, etc. So that's what I do. And how I became an emotional intelligence coach is because, unfortunately, I had a prison sentence. I got sentenced to 15 years in a Florida State prison. And it was the emotions, the emotional intelligence that enabled me to become unscathed.
Wow.
Not to be consumed by the fire.
Okay.
But purified by the fire, because I seen so many people lose their life or be in an unfortunate situation because of the mismanaging of their emotions. So I took that, I built those up, and then I just translated and applied it out here and received substantial results. So, yeah.
I love that too, because at the end of the day, like, you're not trying to pretend to be anybody else. Like a lot of rappers right now, they rap about everybody else's life, right? Well, we saw that growing up.
For sure.
But this is who you really are. And the world tried to hide that because they don't want the authenticity to come through. But this is what it is. That's why I show the world, this is who I am. I used to hide it. I used to be embarrassed of my life, like where I came from, the hood, Long Beach, my mom dying of AIDS. All these things I used to be embarrassed of because I didn't want to be judged, because as a little boy, when my mother died of AIDS, in the third grade, I believe, a teacher came to me and was like, hey, sorry for your, my condolences goes out to you and your family. We heard your mother died of AIDS. Do you got AIDS? And I was like, what? And as a little boy, it didn't register right with me. So I went home and I told my dad, I was like, yeah, the teacher such and such asked me, did I have AIDS? He got furious. It's like, why would you ask a child that? But at the end of the day, it messed my head up. Yeah. But that's where the embarrassment used to come from. I didn't want to tell nobody else no more because the society looked at it like that. But I love that you go around and you tell your story and you make like, nah, this is what it is. And this is an outcome if you keep going about that. Can we talk about your story?
Yeah, man, most definitely. And caveat, I want to pivot real quick because you gave me that sincere compliment about me being genuine. And, that came at an expense. Me not being genuine resulted in me getting 15 years in a Florida State prison.
Wow.
Because I was trying to be something I'm not. I'm trying to indulge in a robbery. I ain't have to do that.
Right.
I was raised in a single parent household, but I had a great childhood.
Right.
My mom provided for me. I ain't never go to bed hungry.
Right.
You know what I mean? As opposed to I had friends that, unfortunately, they experienced those affairs.
Right.
But I didn't. I was trying to make a name for myself in the wrong way.
Wow.
And it cost me dearly. So I got reprimanded for not being genuine, not being myself,
Wow.
not being authentic. So moving forward, I ain't got no choice but to be real, because I know the consequences. I know the repercussions
You
behind
know
it.
what it comes with.
I know what it come with.
Right.
So moving this day forward from that time that happened up until now, I was like, I am who I am. If you don't accept me, I'm not going to compromise or try to be something nice to appease you.
Right.
Because I did that and it cost me dearly.
Right.
So that's just what it is.
And what was your experiences in Locked Up?
Oh man, it was sweet and sour because it may sound crazy, but I'm glad I went to prison, bro. Prison was a blessing for me. Now I hate what I went for. I hate that I have a homicide on my record,
Right.
And even though I didn't kill nobody, but in Florida, on the Florida law, if you're in a commission of a crime, for the youngins out there, listen. If you're in a commission with a crime, somebody, just know that you are responsible for their actions. Any actions they commit, you commit. Prime example, if you're in a commission of a crime, somebody, they kill somebody, they rape somebody, you kill somebody, you rape somebody. So just that's a nugget for everybody out there.
Drop that.
I want to be with your homeboys and your ace boom coons and want to hit, lick, and spin. Just keep that in your mind frame, all right? Yeah. But anyway, that was my case with me.
Right.
I got involved with a robbery. Now, initially, I thought I was just going to be robbing somebody. Still wasn't good, but I just thought, scare somebody, get some money, get on about our business. But that wasn't the case. It transpired to a homicide.
Wow.
Like I say, because he did it and I was in commission of crime, I did it. So now I got a murder charge on my record forever. I got to live with that. And I got to forever explain when I'm in front of employees. Unfortunately, I'm a self-employed.
Yeah, you're an entrepreneur.
I'm an entrepreneur, so I got to worry about that.
Yeah.
But at the time when I was working, I always had to elaborate and explain and show people I'm not what that paper says I am.
Wow.
Yeah. But yeah, so back to what my prison experience, it was a blessing because I was sequestered from society for a prolonged period of time, and it allowed me to develop. I say it allowed me to become a beast, because prior to me getting incarcerated, bro, I never read a book front to back. I thought reading was lame. I thought reading was for suckers. It was boring. It was for lame. The only time I remember reading, it was like a group activity, and my teacher forced me to read.
Right.
But by myself solo, nah. But when I first got incarcerated, bro, the first book I read, front to back, page to page, was George Washington Carver, The Peanut Man. How this man abstracted so many products from a single peanut. Bro, that inspired me.
Come on, man.
It was exhilarating. It rejuvenated me. And I'm like, dang, man, this brother look like me, a black man?
That
made an indelible impression on history like that?
You know George Washington Carver is a Sigma man.
Really?
Yes.
What, yeah, for real?
Yeah, you're a
That's
Phi
what's
Beta
up.
Sigma man, yeah.
I ain't know that, man.
We'll talk more about it, yeah.
Big ups to him.
Yeah.
So when I read his story, I was like, wow, I was so inspired. But then as I began to perpetually read, I started identifying options. I started looking at myself like a clown, like, why did I do what I did, man? I can do what these people's doing.
Right.
Well, the stories I'm reading about, the innovation, I can do that. They mind ain't no better than mine. But it's how they applying it.
But look at our society right now. Like, we don't encourage each other the educational piece, right? If we know our history and we know that we was enslaved and we know that we wasn't able to read or write or understand because we would get lynched, hung, beat, all these things, right? Let's talk about it.
Yeah, let's talk
and we
about
want to dig deep. Let's talk about that. It looks lame, and I'm saying that to you because you brought your mentee. It looks lame for two brothers to be talking about educational pieces if we was out there in the hood. Because, and I just told you, I told your cameraman, I lost my business because I didn't understand business. I knew hustling, but I didn't understand business. So I went back to get my master's. Just like you read, I went back and got my master's. I read and I understood. So I can give that back to the neighborhoods. Each one teach one. We could teach each other how to rob. We could teach each other how to gangbang, how to hustle. We could teach each other how to get girl. All while we can't teach education. How to, as a matter of fact, you can read whatever you want to. Do you comprehend that book? And the fact that you comprehended it, guess what it got you? In this seat right here. What you're doing right now. Understanding. Because you're not embarrassed to tell your story. Because you're telling it. And you happy because it saved your life. But what's crazy is that's what God wanted for you. It was no other way.
Yeah.
There was no other way for you to do it. God said, Moe Nelson, you're going to go to jail and you're going to sit your butt down and you're going to listen, you learn, and you're going to understand. And when you get out of jail, you're going to take off for the rocket.
Yeah, right.
Am I right?
No, you're absolutely right.
Right, because you're radiant right now. Like, I feel your energy, and I love it because that's the way it's supposed to be. As men, period, and as black men, we got to understand that if we don't tackle it at its root and understand the educational piece, and it's cool to have literacy. It's cool to have your rhetoric like this. It's cool to talk like, we could talk like we talked when we was off the mic, but at the end of the day, when we get in front of this mic, we're going to let them know because I'm going to shock the world. Because I want you to jump in this cold pool like I did and be like, and lose your breath because it's so much more to learn. Let's continue, man.
Most definitely.
I'm
man.
sorry I got on a
Nah,
tangent.
you good. No, man, I love it, bro. Listen, now it's genuine, authentic conversation. So moreover about my prison experience, and it just helped me to realize the importance and the privilege of freedom. Your freedom is a privilege. You know, through reading, I identified that not every country has the freedom that we have here in America.
Right.
So it's like, as I'm learning and I'm beginning to know who I am as a person of African descent, born and raised in this country, what our predecessors and ancestors fought and went through for me to have the freedom, but here it is on my own discretion, put myself in servitude. I'm spitting in Harriet Tubman's face.
That's the easy part. That's easy.
Yeah, I felt disgusted.
Yeah, right.
So I'm like, I'd be damned. Excuse my language.
No,
I'd be
go
damned
ahead. Yeah.
if I ever discretionally put myself in a situation to where I'm in servitude when my people fought
To get out of that.
Yeah. That was a disgrace.
Come on, man.
So after that, I just started building. I'm like, man, no way. And then Malcolm X, one of my favorites ever.
Hey, that's
reading his
Malcolm.
autobiography 3 times, studying him,
Yeah.
and seeing how he trying to transition his prison experience,
Right.
you know what I mean, to a positive, identifying that silver lining in that dark cloud. That was just motivating, man.
Right.
And then, you know, I took advantage of all prison had to offer. Any programs I can get into,
Right.
I got into them, learned some few trades, some soft skills.
Come on.
And it taught me, because, prime example, man, like my mom raised me very sheltered.
Right.
She protected me. I was the only child for 13 years. And she, you know, instilled in me morals and principles. But my mom, like, if I would have just subscribed to the ideology my mom was administering, I'd have been soft. I'd have been weak. Remember how you said it off camera, like, you know, big ups to our women out here, you know, raising the boys the best they can. But a man has to be implemented when it comes to raising a young man in order to be a man.
Right.
I didn't have that, unfortunately. My dad wasn't present in my adolescence growing up. But prison, being around men, and I met some extraordinary men in prison. To name one, his name was Osiris. He was my mentor.
Shout out to him.
Big shout out to him, man. He had a life sentence out of Dade County.
Yeah.
He poured so much into me, man. He gave me that father figure role, and he showed me genuine love. I really love this man. Still love him to this day.
Wow.
And I don't communicate with him as I should.
Right.
We're gonna fix that.
Yeah.
But he just really transformed my mindset and let me know what discipline was. You know, structure.
Wow.
Being calm.
Wow. We just talked about that.
We just talked about and listen, Osiris is very dangerous.
Yeah.
He was a killer. He will kill you.
Yeah.
But you will never know. He would talk to you calmly. He'd give you a chance. Skinny, tall, 6'4", skinny. Wasn't no gorilla. Wasn't respectful. But if you cross him and he gave you that warning,
there it is. And that's what we just talked about. Like, the calmest person in the room is the most dangerous. And we should all practice how to be that calm. Like, I see everybody before they see me. And I don't need to get excited when you get excited. I'm excited. You'll never know I'm happy. I get told all the time, Jared, you don't show no excitement. I'm happy inside.
well, I'm excited to be here with you.
I'm happy.
I'm
happy.
I'm
But at the end of the day, it's like, okay, because people prey on that, right? You like, just take it back to the wild. And when animals, when they get excited, start running around, the bushes start moving out. You alert, your ears, everything. So it's supposed to happen like that. But at the end of the day, how do panthers hunt? How do lions? They creeping, watching, everything, observing, taking notes. They might not get you today. They may not get you in 2 weeks, but they're gonna get you because they study your habits. I study people's habits. Like, that is my cue. I learned that from the military. Man, I learned that coming from the hood. Just watching people, everything, how they move, how they understand life. Just like we're doing right now. Yeah. We're having a diabolical conversation to understand where we need to put this rhetoric to make sure that this youth, I don't care if the youth need to get this.
Yeah, you gotta get it.
Because the old people, they not gonna understand it because they think we talking gibberish because it's past them. But this new generation, they need to understand, man. Last night was so hard for my family because my sister, my big sister, her son got 80 years in a system where they don't care about us. Period. Point blank. Right? We need to jail, but sometimes we're not understanding what it does to our young men, right? It sets you down and you learn and you understand and then you out. But giving 80, 55, 100, for what? For something that you don't do, right? But that's the end state. It's either dead or you in jail. So if we don't talk like this and they don't listen, guess what it's going to get them, right? And it's sad because where else do we have it? And if they don't get it from us, they ain't getting it from nobody else, bro.
Right.
So I'm happy that we joining forces so we can give this back because you learn. And what's crazy is we learn the most when we isolate it. And people don't understand it. A baby learns when they're in that mama's womb. They're isolated in darkness, learning how to hear. They open their eyes. They listen, taste, everything. God sometimes sits us down and put us in a dark space so we can listen. When I went bankrupt, I went into my darkest hole and I thought it was bad. It was the best thing that ever happened to me because I came out on fire, just like you. And I'm ready to, and I'm speaking the hot gospel of everything because I know that people need to hear this type of conversation between us. That's why I couldn't wait to get you on my podcast because I'm a fan of you. And I appreciate what you're doing because you're not capping like the you say.
Yeah.
You really out here and you really doing what you got to do. You paying your bills. You taking care of your family. You making money. You got mentees. You came here with a mentee. You showing out.
Yeah.
That's what, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
and that's what because that's your life. That's not what you're not pretending. That is your life. And I appreciate it because it's a small world. Because who you know, I know, and we locked in forever, man. And I love it, man. And I always want to ask you this question, like,
talk to me.
When you talking about emotional intelligence, and you're going around and you got your crowd of people, and you speaking in your rooms, your platforms, how are you perceived?
Well, initially, because of my appearance, because we both agreed upon, I don't compromise my appearance. I'm from urban America.
Yeah.
I wear my J's, I wear my hat,
my
I'm
chains,
urban. That's who I
all
am.
that, yeah.
And I do that intentionally because I want to change the narrative. I want to show the world that professionalism comes in different forms and fashion. Don't judge me on my appearance. Now, mind you, caveat, I'm not gonna come into any situation with my pants hanging off my ass.
Yeah, no, I'm not doing that.
That's a different situation.
Yeah.
That's another conversation.
Right.
But I am urban. I'm gonna come in my J's, what I grew up seeing.
Right.
And then I like to be the mentor or that pillar that I would have liked to see growing up, you know, in my adolescence.
Right.
Always liked the cool cat. That's why the youngest, man, they get attracted to the hood dudes, the
drug
street cats,
dealers,
because the street cats got the respect.
Yes.
Mind you, they're doing some, illegal activity and negativity, but on the flip side of that, it's the respect from the community,
Right.
The money, the clout, et cetera, et cetera. So I always said today, what if I got that same clout, that same aspect, but I'm more on the positive side? What if I got the chains on, I got the J's, I got all that, got the hair, I listen to rap music and all that, but I'm indulging in positivity.
Right.
I'm elevating the people simultaneously as they're drawn to my appearance. And that's why I do it.
Right.
No disrespect to a three-piece suit, because I'll put that on too.
Definitely.
I'll put it on. I'll put it on if I got to.
Yeah.
But on the everyday, day-to-day, when I'm going to, the urban America or going to these juvenile centers or, any troubled youth, quote unquote, they're not gonna relate to that. And Pac said it, man. Tupac said it. He say, in order to gain the weak, you must become the weak.
Come on, man.
So I have to show them that I'm you. I ain't no lame.
I'm not changing.
In prison, I had my fights.
Right.
I did some things in prison I ain't want to have to do.
Right.
I ain't gonna speak on that, but I did it for survival.
Right.
I ain't proud of it.
Right.
It could have went left.
Right.
But I had to do what I had to do. So I'm letting you know you ain't talking to no Mark. I ain't him. But I ain't no gorilla and gangster either. I ain't going around toting fire trying to pick the biggest. I know I can die.
Yeah.
And that's something I learned in prison, man. Let's talk
Everybody
about this.
can
Man.
die.
I hate, because this got me a look. So I'm in my mood right here.
Let's do it. Get in your bag.
I don't like when people walk around like they can't die. Just because you got a gun, bro, just because you can fight, you know how to box. Bro, you still can die, fam. You're still a human being. Everybody can expire.
Bro, come on.
But in prison, I seen people with this gorilla mentality, because you working out, you can do 1,000 dips, and you gang banging this and that, fam. You're still a human.
You get poked up too.
You get poked up too.
Yeah, come
on the shit.
Right there.
Sleeping, breakfast time.
Yeah.
Don't act like you invincible.
Yeah.
And that humbled me. I seen it, bro.
Right.
I done seen people get their face slit open by the telephone because you think your phone call more important than this man. I got a family too.
Yeah.
I'm a man too.
Yeah, definitely.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Same thing applies out here.
Speak on it.
Gang bang in the streets.
All that.
Oh, I got a gun. So what, fam?
Everybody.
They stopped making them when they made yours.
Right.
Like,
and half the time, the people that are doing that ain't never been around no real killers. Real killers ain't gonna tell you they're gonna kill you.
Yeah.
They not gonna, and let's get to it. They not,
Be
and then,
honest.
like, even just now, off camera, when I was showing you that I was trained, you saw your eyes? You was like, wait, hold on.
I was amazed.
I can do that. Yeah, you can do that too. But I don't need to go around showing or showcasing that. When time come then we could get jiggy. But at the end of the day, this is who we are, man. You know what I'm saying? I'm protect my family and my friends and make sure we good. But I don't need to boast and rah. That's what this society's about, though. They're loud and they want to show until it's like, oh, RIP this. I'm like, come on, man. Now he on a T-shirt.
Yeah.
But you knew what he was doing back in the day.
Yeah.
You knew what he was doing now. You know what he's doing. You know what I'm saying? So that's the end of the day. Like, people don't understand, like, that stuff gets you killed, but that's what we glorify.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
We
I don't
glorified.
glorify
Let's talk about it. We glorify the rappers and these cases and all these things. But when they get served with 80 years, 55 years, or die, wait a minute. We didn't have nobody talking in that man's ear.
Yeah.
And that's what I was just telling you. Like, I did my time and I came in and got in the military and did all these things, but I feel bad because I didn't get a chance to mentor my nephew the way he needs to be. You know what I'm saying? And now, right, look at him. And if you talk to him, his whole mindset has changed. And it's amazing me because it takes that bump on the head. But at the end of the day, like, I love my nephew. And I feel bad that I didn't get a chance to even motivate him, to inspire him. But he told me the other day, he said, Uncle JJ, like, you inspire me so much. He called me Uncle JJ, my niece and nephews. You inspire me so much. And I didn't know that. He said, everything that you got going on, from getting your doctorate to your fraternity to motivational speaking. I'm his life coach. I'm TK's life coach. But people don't know that. But I don't say that because I want points. I wish I was his life coach sitting next to you right now. But I got to do it over the phone. And that's the real life, because people think, oh, you got the chain, you got the car, you don't know my real life. You don't know last night the calls. You don't know the prayers that came in. You don't know what I've been through. It gets hot and heavy. But still, like, you go through these things, but somebody will call you on the phone to pick up, and now you got a life coach to drop your issues. Where do the motivators get motivated? We talked about that. Where do we go?
Yeah.
Is it this conversation right here?
Mentors as well.
Right here? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Where do we dump our mental trash can at?
Yeah.
Because we steady helping everybody else. And that's my next question to you. Like, I see what you're doing and I see where you came from. Where do you go to go talk to somebody? And what's crazy is when I walked in and we talked about it, you was like, hey, you could be my life coach. I thought you was bullshitting. Excuse my French, but I'm like, I'm looking at you. You dead ass. And I'm like, I mean, that's what I do, but I'm looking at a person like you really need, like, you know what I'm saying? I know you can go do that yourself, but I'm like, JR, you wouldn't even tell yourself that. If he needs gas, give him gas. You know what I'm saying? Open up your gas, like, give him gas. And what's crazy is that I might get energy off of you, and I'm getting it right now.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because I was weak this morning.
Yeah.
Like I was weak this morning, last night, for the last 2 weeks, because I'm going through a real life situation. Not even for my nephew, for my sister.
Yeah.
Watching her go through it, but I'm proud of her.
Yeah.
Because 3 years ago, she wasn't that woman.
Yeah.
She wasn't. I had to go get her.
Yeah.
And God said, JR, after your bankruptcy, go get your sister. She's my caregiver. I go through mental issues. I was in the military, 14 years, 3 deployments. All these things I go through, PTSD, TBI. Go get your sister. You not married? Why you can't get married? Because I stress and I mess up every relationship that I have, even being a father, because I deal with this. Until I got this together, I couldn't get on this mic.
I got you. And I empathize with you as well, man, with your sister, because I know how it feels, because I took my mother through the same thing, you know, seeing those tears, seeing the agony, you know, them being, you know, weak and at one of the most vulnerable moments. And it's like, what can you say? You know, I can say what I want, but that's not going to change the result.
It's not.
That what we just witnessed. So I definitely empathize with you with that. And as far as your nephew, I don't want you beating yourself up, because we talk about emotional intelligence. Listen, how you just conveyed to us that he was motivated indirectly through your actions, because we do all this all day, but it's more the actions.
Watching.
At the end of the day, man, you had to do what you had to do for you so you can be the man that you are today, to help him furthermore and others. But now you can help him even more than what you possibly could have helped him a few years ago, because you weren't his man.
Right.
Bro, you decorated, bro.
Right.
Got the street background. You baller. You was in the military. You went jiu-jitsu. You speak with eloquence. You got power. You speak with diction, bro. Now you can package that all up and give him that.
Right.
As opposed to 23, 15 years, bro. You was all right, but you weren't him.
No, I wasn't him.
You him now.
Yeah.
So
definitely.
I don't want you beating yourself up with that, bro. It is what it is. Let's just move forward and do better.
Right,
Real
definitely.
talk. That's coming from the heart. This ain't no camera. This is real love, bro.
Yeah, definitely.
Don't beat yourself up with that.
Yeah, I
Real
appreciate
talk,
it.
bro.
Yeah,
Because
definitely.
I had to learn I was doing the same thing while I went to prison. I went to prison. I did this. I had to forgive myself. I'm involved with somebody losing their life innocently, bro.
Right.
I ain't tell you that part. An innocent man lost his life in my case. I used to have nightmares about that. Reminiscing, not reminiscing, playing back in my psyche, a man crying in agony getting shot with a WCC hollow tip bullet. No, I didn't pull the trigger, but I did hit this man. What if I didn't motivate or turn my co-defendant up to shoot him?
Yeah.
Now I didn't aid in the bet. I didn't want to say it the wrong way, but I hit him. And when I hit him, that motivated my Cody to pull out the gun and do what he did.
Yeah.
That bothered me. That used to have like a deleterious effect on my psyche, bro.
Right.
I was messed up.
Right.
But I had to learn, if I wanted to grow, if I wanted to help others, if I wanted to make the most out of this situation, I had to forgive myself.
Come on now. And that's the first step.
First step.
Yeah.
A 1,000,000-mile journey begins with one step, brother.
That's it.
Forgive yourself. It's
Yeah.
okay. You're human just like everybody else.
Yeah.
But guess what? I tell my mentee all the time, man, from a book, one of my favorite books I ever read in my life.
Right.
It's called From Niggas to Gods, Part 2 by Akil, 5%er brother. He quoted in his book, "Don't dwell in the past, but never forget or disrespect the past and allow the past to be a compass to navigate your future." We got to apply that, brother.
Definitely.
And that's what I do.
Definitely. Yeah.
And also, too, I was dead ass serious about you being my mentor,
Yeah.
bro. Because mentors need mentors.
Right.
Coaches need coaches. LeBron James, Steph Curry,
Yeah.
Kobe Bryant, the greats that we revere, they all had great coaching behind them, bro.
Exactly.
Couldn't did it without Phil.
Yeah.
You take Phil away from the team. You think
Yeah.
Michael Jordan, Scottie Pippen could have governed the whole team? No, bro. You got to check ego checks.
you got to.
People come through, wisdom.
You got to.
It's like this, bro. I'm big on, if you did it before me, you older than me, bro.
Right.
You got wisdom. It's some things that you've been through that I haven't been through.
Right.
But if you can help me circumvent some of the challenges
Right.
because of what you experienced and been through, I want that.
Come on now. Yeah.
I don't want that, bro. I don't
Right.
want to, you know what I'm saying? If I'm telling you, bro, look,
Yeah.
bro,
Don't go that
do
way.
this, don't go there, because this is what's going to happen.
Yeah.
I've been there, fam.
Yeah.
Ain't nobody tell me nothing.
Right.
This is what happened. These are the results. I ain't going to listen to that.
It's crazy that you say that because a lot of us in our society, we don't welcome that because it's machismo. I ain't listening to you.
Yeah.
I don't know you. Where you from? Like all these things, right? And I tell people when I was in the military, our TTPs, we would go down routes and Route Irish, Route Tampa. It was a road called Tampa in Baghdad, Iraq, all the way from Baghdad to Mosul. It was a dangerous road. We'd say, hey, don't go down that road. They got IEDs. Oh, we good. All right, I just told you that route is black. You go down there, you lose your life. We don't learn until somebody lose their life, and that's crazy because that's the human nature. But why we don't do that? So right now we talking to each other, but it's gonna be somebody else that's going to still tip the fence. But we just told you don't do that because this is where it ends up like that. But okay, they think they can get away. You can't get away with that. God sees everything. God knows, point blank. Even if I don't catch you, God sees it, and God has a way of making you understand and sitting you down at your lowest moments and you learning. And that's where we came. We a diamond in the rough. We learned at our lowest moments. And now we here to put that energy right back into the world. That's why you Moe Nelson, I'm the hood motivator, and we're going out here and we're taking like Storm. I'm in these kids' high schools and these kids' elementaries, middle schools, talking to them. That's not my only audience, but I believe we gotta take it right now.
Yeah.
Because it's only a certain amount of time, right, that we can get these kids information, like Tupac said, because when they get to a certain age, they don't want to learn no more.
Yeah.
They not, because they didn't saw it all.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You can't teach that no more. So that's why I'm glad that we got this stage together and we understanding who we are in the rhetoric, because people got to understand, like, wow, like there's no more time left because we're losing our youth at an alarming rate.
Yeah.
Either dead or in jail. Chicago, Philadelphia, New York, Florida, California, all these hoods, they got homicides every single day.
Yeah.
And spinning the block and licks and all these things that we glorifying, putting in these rap songs. And guess what? We giving them a playbook on how to do it.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
It's a
saying?
capsule.
They're mad 'cause he told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad 'cause he wanna be you.
Most definitely. And I think the distinguishing factor between you and I, man, is the appearance. I think that's our secret weapon. Because, you know, I tell people this all the time. The mind accepts what the eyes see.
Right.
If somebody that's from this environment, from this culture, and you're coming not from that culture, you're trying to give them advice, you can be saying the right things. You can be dropping some jewels, but they're not going to relate to you because they don't see themselves within you. Right. And that's where we come in at.
Right.
You see the shoes, you see how we rocking.
Everything.
We comfortable with it. We rocking.
This is us.
It's us.
We're not pretending.
We ain't pretending.
Nah,
we really, I'm really living like this. It's us.
Yeah.
But then when the youth sees that, like my mentee, when he see me, because at first he told me, he said, man, I thought you was old lame. When they made the introduction, I thought you was old. He said it. But then when he seen me, and not only did he see me, he hear the rhetoric, he hear the talk, he hear the lingo, he hear the music I listen to, he see the scat pad, like, oh, yeah, I'm cut from the same cloth. Yeah. But I just want to show you, just because we cut from that cloth, that doesn't define who we are, bro. Right. We have a bright future ahead of us. We can have anything in this world that we want to manifest, bro.
You could be
the
just
world
like
is
this.
ours, bro.
Come on, it's ours.
The universe is us. It's just about choices.
Right.
And that's where emotional intelligence comes in, because emotions plays a heavy effect on our decisions, on our choices. Right. So if we're emotionally intelligent, knowing how to manage those emotions, knowing when and where, what emotion to apply at that specific time, that gives us the power. Right. Because one emotion I want to talk about, I want to elaborate on, is fear. Yeah. Fear is a very powerful emotion, because a lot of people, you hear fear, it has a negative connotation. Right. Oh, fear is bad, you shouldn't have no fear. But it's not. Yeah. Depending on how it's applied, because fear can be an alarming tool of a threat. Right. You know, when a threat comes, you have that, you have that fear of not being hurt, not being harmed. Right. If I tell you, hey, look, listen, JR, how you told, prime example, the what's it called, EDMs in the military, the bombs? Oh, the IDs. The IDs. Yeah. Hey, bro, it's IDs back there, man. Yeah. Don't go on that road, fam. I'm telling you. If I don't have the fear, if I'm fearless with those IDs, I'm going to take my black behind down there and I'm going to get blown up. But because I had the fear of the respect, it alert me. Dang, JR said it's IDs. I'm scared of IDs. I ain't trying to get blown up. So I ain't going down there. Yeah. Now, on the other side, let's say I have a business venture that I want to partake in, but I'm afraid of failing. I got the fear of going bankrupt, like you experienced with the security. Yeah. But I love it. Yeah. I'm glad you experienced that. At least you took that step. Right. But some people, they allowed that fear to anchor them, not to behoove them, but to anchor them, and they don't take that first step. They don't make a move. But you said crying about your job, though. No. You started crying about you making $15 an hour. They ain't give you no promotion. They ain't give you the freedom. But you have fear to taking the initial step that will gain your own freedom. Come on, man. Just take a chance.
Yeah. And it's crazy that you said that, because it's just like right now, my motivational speaking, when I first started, people was like, there's no lane for you. Look how you look. Look how you dress. All these things. This is before they heard my story from California. Mm-hmm. I was military. I'm decorated. I just failed, and I'm trying to get into motivational speaking. People closed the door on me. Didn't even hold it open. So I said, okay, I'm going to make my own lane. I'm going to do my own conferences. I'm going to fail a few times. I'm going to do my own podcast. And God was like, hey, JR, this is what you want to do. He set me down, do 25 podcasts a year, go speak for free. I spoke for free for almost 4 years. It just got the content. Content is money. Then when they started to pay me, they went back into my content, and it started to pay me more while I'm sleeping on YouTube. So and people don't understand. So if you're scared to get on that stage and speak for free, if you got jitters, or you nervous, or you just said nobody ain't gonna believe in you, long as you got one person. And I did it off my own strength. Now, right now, my brand that I built, the Hood Motivator, $18,000 to $25,000 an hour to get on that stage. And I will only quote you less if I mess with you. That's it. Because I know my worth. I know when I started my security company, for 4 years, I didn't pay myself as a CEO. When I went bankrupt, I had no money. Because I took care of everybody. Your cameraman, he saw it. This ain't no cap. I had 400 people working for me. No fear. But when I lost, I lost. I messed up my mental. I thought about suicide, and the guy was like, get out the house. The first job that hired me was being a janitor at Crunch Gym. I had a master's degree. Crunch Gym, no disrespect to the janitors. Yeah, no disrespect. But I was a janitor, and God was like, stay there. And I read over 150 books. And when I left that job, I went to go became a construction worker. And I started seeing construction and project management. And I had a guy came to me and told me, hey, you know what? You will only stay here because you know nothing about construction. Not knowing I have a mind and I'm intelligent. So I was like, what is project management? Oh, he's a project manager. So I started to study that. I'm not scared. Fear, this is what fear gets you. He was like, well, that test is hard. Nobody passes it. So my shift was at nighttime. So for about 3 weeks, I would study project management on YouTube. And then I applied for the certification, and then I passed it. That fear got him not to get. He's the project management. He don't have a certification. It got me the certification. When he saw me get the certification, he felt some type of way. So they fired me because I'm aiming for your job now because you don't got a certification. You faking, right? Because you're scared. Then I moved, and then I start understanding more about my life coaching and speaking. And then it was like, if you speaking, you need to come into a speaker program so people can endorse you. You need to pay me 10 grand, pay me 20 grand, pay me here to get on. I'm not paying you to get on your platform. I'm going to do it independently because I wasn't scared, because of emotional intelligence of me not accepting fear no more. You scared me that much that I don't even know what's fear. I'm not scared no more. I just took the biggest failure in my life is bankruptcy. Now I have no fear. So now it's time to go get it. And now we here right now.
Yeah.
And that's how you build your brand. Because if you don't get off the porch, then you're not gonna go get no milk.
Yeah.
You wait. They don't deliver milk no more. Back in the day, the milkman used to show up to your house.
Yeah.
You gotta go get that milk now. You gotta. Yeah, no, they did. Yeah.
Yeah.
The milkman to show up, and I think I want to believe in the South still, they had little containers where they would leave the milk outside, right? It was specialized. They don't do that no more. You got to get your butt off the porch. You got to go down. You got to go. And remember, there was no Google Maps.
Yeah.
How you gonna get to the store?
Yeah.
How you gonna understand that? So you gotta walk, you gotta go get your milk, you gotta come back with your milk and eggs, you gotta make that, and you gotta produce it. Not literally, but literally. You gotta understand, and that's what business is understanding that emotional intelligence, like, hey, if you got a dream, follow that dream. Because God gave it to you. And that's one of my gifts, is one of my speeches is called Activate Your Gift. We always ask everybody, what do you want to be when you grow up? Stop asking these kids, what do you want to be when you grow up, and say, how can we activate your gifts? God gave everybody a gift. We only see the biggest ones: basketball, football, acting, rapping, speak. But we don't see every gift that God has gave every human being a gift, and it's time to activate it. And you're doing that right now.
Most definitely.
You being a life coach, you being an emotional intelligence coach, you going around and you speaking and you activating your gift because you have the charisma and someone is listening. You caught my attention. You know what I'm saying? And I'm not amused by everybody, but I love it. Because at nighttime I go through and I don't see people in my network as competition. I'm like, how can I work with him?
How can we collaborate?
How can we collaborate?
How can we help each other?
The only people at the lowest, they beef with everybody. I'm not there. So it's like, how can we get on the stage together? How can we operate? How can we do a podcast? Because I'm not scared. Because that fear. I don't have it no more. Like once you get hit so hard in the face by boxing or martial arts, you know what that feels like.
Right.
So now you don't, like, I'm gonna block that, but I'm still coming. It's not gonna startle you no more. You know what I'm saying? So,
I just want to make one little good correction. You have the fear, but you don't allow the fear to anchor you to move forward. But you got the fear to protect your life. The fear, like how you showed me, you know what I mean, the combat. That's fear of protecting yourself and not losing your life. So when you will activate that fear to protect yourself.
Got to.
And that's what emotional intelligence has done for me, because I got this mind frame. Our challenges enables our greatest opportunity for growth.
Right.
There's a story, and I just give a little brief synopsis on it. One day it was a little kid and the father that was walking down the park, and a little kid seen a cocoon. Now he ran to the cocoon. And his dad was like, hey, son, where you going? He's like, nah, Dad, I see this cocoon right here. I want to help it. So he opened the cocoon up. And out of the cocoon came a butterfly, right? And the butterfly was trying to fly, but he couldn't fly.
That's already.
Keep over and over, trying to fly. He's like, Dad, what happened? He's like, what's going on? He said, well, the butterfly opened the cocoon up, and the butterfly, he won't fly. He can't fly. He said, you did what, son? He said, I opened the cocoon up. He said, well, that's the problem, son. He said, the butterfly gets its strength from getting out of the cocoon, that struggle, that challenge. Because it's challenging getting out of the cocoon.
Come on.
It strengthens their wings and enables them to fly and be beautiful and be butterflies that we all admire from afar. I take that of life, that prison. That's why I say prison was such a blessing, friend. I mean that whole heart, not bragging, not glorifying it. I don't condone the negativity that goes on. But for me, I'm speaking for me. I can't speak for nobody else. If I didn't go to prison, jail, you wouldn't like me. I'd be one ignorant, dummy, unconscious, 5, 6 different baby mamas in the streets, being what is it called? Deplorable.
Yeah.
Prison saved me, bro. It gave me the opportunity to find self, to know who I am, to activate my gift. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I learned so much, man, through reading, bro. I ain't read no book, bro.
Come on, man.
I done read over 1,000 books in my life.
Come on, man.
And they did nothing but identify options. It helped me, expand my vocabulary.
Right.
It gave me substance to my conversation.
Right.
It gave me fresh perspective.
Right.
It done numerous things, bro.
Right.
But prison,
Come on now.
I love it.
And that's what God wanted for you.
That's what I had to go through.
There was no other way out of it.
No other way. But that was my challenge. Because
Right.
at first it was looking rocky, boy.
Right.
16, sentenced to 15 in prison, boy.
Yeah.
I'm gonna make it out of here.
Yeah, for real.
But I just had that mind frame, man. How can I transition a negative into a positive?
Right.
How can I identify that silver lining in that dark cloud? And it was the emotions, man. That's why emotional intelligence is very paramount. Because people think, a lot of people out here, they selling money.
Right.
Oh, do real estate, I can teach you how to make this. And that's all good.
Right.
Do this, I can get. Listen, emotional intelligence is the catalyst.
Yes.
You can make plentiful money
Yeah.
by being emotionally intelligent.
Come on now.
Because it's all about your decisions when it comes to making investments.
Right.
In real estate.
Come on.
If you ain't got your emotions intact, you may make a bad investment.
Come on, man.
But if you keep them composed, discern, analyze
Right.
the comps, whatever
Right.
it is necessary to study
Yeah.
to make a calculated right decision
Right.
according to the investment, if you got your emotions intact, you're going to do that.
There you go. And it takes some time to get there.
It takes some time to
You
get
can't
there.
just wake up and say, I'm going to give me some emotional intelligence.
You know what I mean? It's a skill that has
takes
to be
time.
developed.
It takes time to develop that.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So that's how I help people.
Yeah.
And also, remember I told you, I have a very successful private rental car business in the
you
city.
told me, yeah.
I do a lot of cash money. I deal with deposits. And there's times where a lot of people, even though they're in the room, they breach contract because I clearly convey all the rules and parameters before you get into my cars. It's on contract. Got to John Hancock. But unfortunately, some people still don't get the message because there's cash money involved. So they feel like they can breach the rules and not do what I asked them not to do and still get a deposit back.
Yeah.
But then when I take the deposit back,
Yeah.
I didn't get any emotions.
Yeah.
I done had close calls where I almost got in fights with people. Then I almost took it to gunplay with people, all because of the green dollar. But if I wasn't emotionally sound,
Right.
I'd have been back in prison, I'd have been dead.
Yeah.
But because I'm emotionally sound, I know how to manage my emotions
Right.
correctly, I handle it accordingly.
Come on now.
And I'm still standing to this day.
Yes.
And my business still, gross average, $250,000 annually?
Come on, man.
Just off cars?
Just off cars.
But emotional intelligence is a big factor of that.
Yeah.
So I want to tell everybody out there, do not underestimate your emotions. That is our superpower. I used to, growing up as a kid, bro,
Yeah.
I questioned God. And God showed me. I used to, you a little older than me, but back in the day, they used to have these little animal pamphlets, right? And it gave you all the strength and weaknesses of the animal.
Yeah.
The tiger got the big paws,
Yeah.
can get up to 150 pounds. The gator, he got the jaws of a vice grip.
Yeah.
The bald eagle, he can fly up and grab you with his talons and hold twice as much as weight, right?
Yeah.
I'm like, God, excuse my name, but what the hell you gave a human being?
Yeah.
What the fuck can we do?
Yeah. We could do it all. We got dominion over it all.
We can control our
Yes.
emotions. We can think. We got
Yeah.
our brain capacity.
Yeah.
A gator, you might can bite me, gator.
Yeah.
Yeah. If you get me in the water, gator, you can beat me.
Yeah.
But you can't outthink me. I get you on land. I can build a trap.
Yeah.
To trick you because you can't think, gator.
Yeah. You're not. You
Lying.
after one thing.
Yeah, you're lying.
Yeah.
Y'all go off just instinct.
Yeah.
We can channel.
Right. We have
You
it
know?
all. We have instinct. We have it
Got
all.
it all.
Have it all.
That's our superpower.
Right, yeah.
So once you learn that and you tap into that, the world is yours.
Right.
Young king, young queen, the world is
Come on,
yours.
man.
The world is mine. I can't be stopped.
Right. That's crazy too that you said that because I have a lake in the backyard and I have my dogs bullies. And people's like, "You're not scared of your bullies out there by the lake?" I'm like, "No." And then I see the alligator. I see the baby alligator. I see the mom. One day I was out there and the alligator in his habitat. He watching me. I'm watching him. Not knowing. Come on, land.
Yeah, I'm
I got
watching.
something for you. Not
Yeah.
knowing. I got
I got something
packing,
for you.
but come on, land. I know you're prehistoric, but come
Yeah,
on, land.
yeah,
because you
yeah.
see my dogs as lunch. Not my big dogs. They see because I got two bullies. I got a Shih Tzu and a Frenchie. You see the little ones. Maybe see not even the Frenchie. The Frenchie is fast and he alert. But
Yeah.
you see Mega, my Shih Tzu as lunch.
Yeah.
But Mega's
Ain't going
my
down like
therapy
that.
dog. So you're not coming on. Come fast as you can, so I can flip you over and get you out of here.
Yeah.
But he's watching me and I'm watching him, and he's thinking, but he's not outthinking me because I'm playing chess with him.
Playing chess, bro.
I'm watching him because God gave us dominion over everything.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you got teeth, and this is your little habitat, but the world is my habitat, and you don't know what I've been through to get to here. And I'm not gonna let you touch my dog. They my family.
Exactly.
So come on here with your little bitty feet, and you try to crawl over here, and he was just walking. And I was like, and I'm looking, and my sister was like, "You crazy?" And I'm like, "I'm not crazy. I'm smarter than that."
Yeah, I'm smarter. I can't outthink me. It's an alligator.
Yeah.
Brain size of a peanut.
Yeah, come on land. I got something for you.
Yeah.
And then
you
I'm
gonna
gonna
jump in that water with him now.
Yeah, I'm not getting in the water.
See,
No.
I ain't jumping in the water.
Yeah,
with
but
him.
on land, I got something for you. Yeah, I'm not Superman.
Yeah, I ain't
I am
jumping in the
not
water.
getting in that water with him, even though I
Yeah.
can swim really good.
Yeah,
I don't know if it's more than one. You know what I'm saying? They might win in that water when they start barreling.
But you know what's so beautiful about that, man, is that when you just elaborate that, that's how we approaching life.
But that's how you should
we
think
approaching life the same
when
way.
you go into business, relationship, fatherhood, marriage, business, everything. You should be strategic of everything you do. People's like, JR, why you don't? Because on the podcast I talk, but in real life I just sit there and I chill and I watch and I observe. I'm not mad at nobody. I'm just observing where maybe my moment is not now to speak up. But when you put me on that stage, that's my habitat. It's game time.
Let's talk.
When you put me behind this podcast, it's because God gave me this voice, right? He gave you probably the basketball to shoot and the football to throw, but he gave me this mic and this voice and this projection of who I am and this energy and this charisma. And when I get on this stage, I own it. And I take full responsibility because this is my gift. Like, that's your gift.
Yeah.
And I'm happy you talk about emotional intelligence because we don't talk about that.
Yeah.
We act off emotion, but we don't know nothing about emotions.
Nothing about it, man.
We don't know. We fall in love, but we don't know love.
Yeah.
We don't know emotion. We might, I'm gonna take off first. Go ahead and take off first. Because that person, if you don't knock that person out, they're gonna grab their weapon. Right? It's a lot of scenarios.
I seen, let's get off the prison. Let's see what I seen out here as a free man. I didn't witness road rage incidents. Have you ever witnessed one?
What's that?
Like a road rage incident.
Road rage.
Have you ever?
Many times, yeah.
I've seen it. I done seen somebody not die, but I done seen somebody get messed up. They wasn't thinking, right? And I done seen on social media, right, a road rage incident where a dude cut the dude off, the dude got mad, the dude get out of his car, reach in the dude window, all you see is a headshot. You ain't see the gun, you just see a headshot, boom. You wasn't thinking.
Why you going in that man's car?
Why you going in this man's car?
That's his castle. He's free to shoot you.
He's free to shoot you.
You don't know the loss?
But the emotions. You so mad that he cut you off. But this how I think. I said this on my boy Kevin podcast. What if, man, okay, somebody cut you off, JR. Let's say probably I cut you off.
Right.
But you don't know my story. What if my daughter's having a massive heart attack, an asthma attack? I'm trying to get to this hospital, fam.
Right.
I'm not thinking about no red light or you, no disrespect. I'm trying to save my baby.
Yeah.
But then you stop me. You pick a fight with me. You hurt me. You see my daughter having an asthma attack. How did it make you feel?
Come on, man.
We don't know. Everybody got their own personal quarrels that we fighting on a daily basis, but we not aware of.
Right.
We're not privy to.
Right.
That's why we got to have these emotions and have understanding, bro.
Right.
It ain't that serious.
Right.
What if, JR, man, you a speaker. I'm a speaker. You got a $50,000 speaker engagement. Now, you should be there on time, but life happens. Something happened.
Yeah.
With family, whatever the case may be. You running behind.
Yeah.
You trying to get there.
Right.
It's 50K on the line.
Come on, I got to get there.
You got to cut me off.
Yeah.
It is what it is.
It is what
but
it
I
is.
don't know this when you explain it 50K. Hey,
I gotta
cut
get
down
there,
for 1,000 times, bro. You need to go get that.
Right.
We don't understand.
Right.
You get what I'm saying? But I did want to ask you this question because
go ahead.
first,
let's talk
I'm
about
gonna
it.
say mine.
Yeah.
I found my gift of speaking while in prison. This is why I say prison was such a blessing to me because had I went to prison, I didn't know I had the ability to speak.
Right.
I went through a program called Toastmasters. Are you familiar?
Yeah, I know about that.
Okay,
Yeah,
so
yeah.
Toastmasters, if anybody's not familiar, they're a nationwide fraternity that develops public speakers and effective leaders, right? And I partake in that. And at first, when one of my peers, he introduced it to me, I thought of breakfast for some reason. I'm thinking the Toastmasters. What?
Yeah.
I'm finna eat breakfast and
Yeah, I
orange
ain't
juice? What
going
we
there.
doing? I ain't going that shit. Sounds square as hell.
Yeah.
But I had that fortitude to go, and I went just to get a feel, see what it's about. And when I seen the structure. It was like I was in politics, like I was in Capitol Hill or something. You know, they had a president, vice president, secretary, et cetera, sergeant at arms, all that. So I seen the structure, and I seen people in there that I walked around on the compound with in there that I didn't know they would be interested in something like this.
Yeah.
And then when I seen these brothers get on stage and they spoke with so much eloquence and diction, I ain't gonna lie, I'm gonna be honest.
Yeah.
Emotions, I got a little jealous. I'm like, I can speak too.
Yeah, I can do that
I'm
too.
gonna get up there easy.
Yeah.
Man, I got behind that lectern, boy.
Man, you
I
shit the
forgot
bed.
my name.
Yeah.
I forgot
You shit
everything.
the bed, yeah.
I went brain fart.
Yeah.
But it was that emotion, it was that feeling that catapulted me to want it to be better because I didn't want them showing me off. I'm like, man, I'm gonna speak.
Right.
I'm gonna do this. I'm gonna
Right.
learn this game right,
Right,
here.
right, yeah.
And I learned it. I studied it, bro, and I became the #1. No cap. Anybody that know who that did time with me, bro, when it came to that public speaking,
My turn.
it was me.
Yeah.
I stood with confidence.
Yeah.
I stood with authenticity because I love it. I already talk a lot as it is,
Yeah,
as you
yeah.
can tell. And when I found my voice and I found my gift, bro, I just elevated and I became a silver effective communicator. I need to go get my gold.
Yeah.
Matter of fact, I need to do that too.
Yeah, yeah.
But that's how I identify my gift of
Yeah.
speaking. How did you identify yours?
Oh man, people ask me that all the time. I ran from it first. First of all, I didn't want to because my dad is a bishop and my grandfathers are ministers. So I didn't want to be no preacher. Those are big shoes to follow. And I saw what my dad was going through as a minister, bishop, going to different churches. My dad actually raised an entrepreneur and a speaker. My first backpack was a briefcase. So I wanted to be like him because my dad got saved in the 90s. So I would go hang out with my mom, see gang banging, see drug dealing, prostitution, and then I would go to church with my dad on Sundays and see Christianity, you know what I'm saying, going to church, preaching, all these things. So I believe it was probably like an Easter speech or a Christmas speech. My dad would enter me and my sister in these competitions in church. Oh, JR do it, Nina do it. So we would sing, we would say our speeches, so we go home and practice. So I started developing. I'm like, man, I don't want to. In my elementary school, I think back in the day we used to sing "I Believe the Children Are the Future," and we used to sing the national anthem. And then there would be a student from a class a week that would have to get up on a podium in front of 5,000 kids, not 5,000 kids, probably like 2,000 kids in the elementary from kindergarten to 5th grade, and say a speech. And they picked me, and I blew it out the water. And then they picked me every week to do it. And I was like, I don't want to do this. They're like, you're good. And I'm like, all right, I'll do it. But I didn't want to, but I was only doing it just to appease them.
Yeah.
Then I went into the military and developed leadership and how to speak and how to give briefs and how to understand and run my platoons and articulate my voice and project and all these things. But still, I'm not no speaker. But if you go back and see all the old footages, I've been doing what I'm doing now. I just developed him, the brand. So when I went bankrupt, God was like, you ready to listen now? I told your butt that you're going to be a speaker, but you ran away because you thought I was telling you to be a preacher or a pastor. Speak. So I started to speak life into me first. So I would get on my camera and just talk and tell JR, get your butt up out the bed. You got this. I believe in you. You're special. And it started like that for about a year. And then I was like, okay. Then I got certified as a motivational speaker and certified as a life coach. And then I got my first speaking gig. And then I just took off from there. And then I started speaking for free. And I spoke for free until my cousins came. It's like, you don't want to get paid for this? And I'm like, no, I just love what I do. But you do it so good. And I was watching Eric Thomas when I was in Korea. I was watching everybody, Zig Ziglar, all these people, Grant Cardone, and I start Googling and I start researching. And then it just opened up. Build your brand, become a speaker. Yeah. So I got inspired by watching my father and understanding and learning. But I didn't want to be him because I thought that was too big of a shoe. But God was like, pick your own shoes to wear. You got a different size. Yeah. Be a fly. Dress like
walk
this.
The same path, but we got on different shoes.
Do this. And now you see what you see. Now this is what you built. And then if you notice, most motivational speakers, they speak and life coaches and but they don't have a brand. It's just them. So I just put a little bit of branding, hip hop, and intellectual with it, and I took off with it. And then what got people was the way I held my conversations and spoke. And you don't need to yell all the time. Yeah. You know, I'm not a drill sergeant. Even though I was in the military, I'm not a drill sergeant. Yeah. I can relay my message the same way. Yeah. But you're going to see me before you hear me. Right. Right? So you'll be like, who is that guy? And then when I get on the stage, you'll be like, damn, I need to meet that guy. And then when I knew I had it, when I used to get off stage and I had tons and tons of people waiting to talk to me or get an autograph. And that was it.
Yeah.
So,
it's funny you mentioned that because what I identified when I stepped into the speaking world is that public speaking is a language of leadership.
It is.
When you know how to articulate yourself well, people will follow you.
Yeah.
And when I took Toastmasters serious and I, reached the accolades that I harnessed, people on the compound, they see me different.
Yeah.
I was a different type of Moe.
Yeah.
People were like, I'm talking about some of the baddest, some of the big gang bangers, some of the people that probably can beat me in the physical. I was like stronger than me, way, but they used to respect me. They used to want to be up under my tutelage. And I'm like, how y'all, you the big homie.
Yeah.
But now I was the big homie.
Yeah.
And that's when I realized, man, people, women, anybody, especially the women.
Yeah.
But they love
knowledge,
intellect, and if you can articulate yourself well, bro.
Yeah.
You do those two things well, bro, the world is yours.
But that's manhood, though. That's one-on-one. It's standing up, standing on what you have, and articulating your voice. And even if you don't know what you talk about, you know what you're talking about.
That's how you gotta make it. That's how you gotta make it to make it. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
It's all good. We all been there. But
Yeah.
nah, to your point, man, that's real, man. And that's just great that you say that, man. I'm listen, brother. Bottom of my heart, man, that's so dope that you mentioned that. But one thing before we get out of here, man, I do want to mention this.
Yeah.
Because you were talking about branding.
Yeah.
I have something called PASS. It's an acronym.
I saw that, yeah.
It means prevail against self-sabotage. And I came with that acronym because it was a point in time in my life, not in prison, out here in the free world, I was self-sabotaging.
Right.
Are you familiar with Drake, the rapper?
Yeah.
You remember that song, Marvin's Room?
Yeah, Marvin's Room.
It's a verse on there, and he was saying, I had sex 4 times this week. I'm ashamed. I'm having a hard time adjusting with fame.
Yeah.
I lived that. That's what I was going through.
Yeah.
Remember, I went in at 16, I got out at 29. So it was hard for me getting acclimated back to society as an adult, as a grown man.
Right.
So I happened to be a handsome guy with a little intellect. I gravitated a lot of women.
Right.
Now, initially on the outside, that's dope. On the macho, you getting the women. But it wasn't. It became poison.
Right.
It became a detriment because I'm dealing with so many women, bro. I'm having abnormal amount of sex that it's not healthy.
Right.
I'm not focused. I'm procrastinating.
Right.
I'm falling through that slippery slope. And I remember emotions, bro. I remember I talked to one of the big homies about, boy, I'm on a dip ball. My body looking good. I couldn't wait. The female's going to be on me, this and that. And I was very excited. He said, look, I want you to do your thing, bro. You deserve that. They're yours. But he said, just be careful. Don't allow it to become an addiction. Come on now. Because it's going to become a slippery slope, brother. It's going to be hard to get up out of, and it's going to do more damage than good.
Right.
And you tripping, but he was right. And I experienced it, and I fell flat on my face, bro.
Right.
And I was losing a lot.
Right.
I was down. A lot of people don't know. I made it look good.
Right.
But at one point in time in my life, bro, I was losing it.
Right.
So one day in a deep meditation session, that's why I always advocate meditation.
Right.
I was talking to the Most High, lining myself up with my 7 chakras, and I was like, man, I need help.
Right.
Most High, I'm giving it all to you. I'm willing to sacrifice.
Right.
I'm bringing it all to the tabernacle. Can you help me?
Right.
What I need to do? And I developed that PASS, prevail against self-sabotage, because I'm a big advocate of we are our best friends, but we are also our own worst enemy, bro.
We are, bro.
You are your own worst enemy more than I can ever be, brother.
Come on, man.
That man in the mirror, that woman in the mirror.
Right.
So when I came with that, and that's when I came with the acronym, and that's why now, I provide workshops and my courses to help people, because as human beings, we all need course corrections. Like I say, back to mentors need mentor. Yeah, I'm a mentor to somebody, but I need mentorship too, bro. I'm a human. I ain't number 35.
Right.
I ain't learned everything up under the sun.
Right.
I want the guidance too, so I can better pour into my mentees, bro. So it's all love, man. So I just wanted to say that.
No, let's continue to work together, man. And I want you looking at camera right there, man. First of all, man, I like to always drop this as a life coaching position in my life is I'm proud of you. Don't stop what you're doing as a man, as a black man. Continue pushing forward because God has something for you and you're walking in your gift and your purpose. A lot of people not out here walking in their purpose, and it's two. Your purpose and your gift is connected, and you cannot do one without the other. You could try to do this, and then you got to have both of them together, and it seems like that you're doing it. And I'm proud of you, man, and don't stop. And I can't wait to hop on stage with you in July, and I can't wait to continue to connect with you. I want you looking at camera, man, and tell the world, motivate somebody in that camera.
I'm going to say this. Remember the quote I said earlier, man. Don't dwell in the past, but never forget or disrespect the past, and allow the past to be a compass to navigate your future. And I also want to leave with this nugget too. It has been substantial contributions to the world from people that utilize their emotional intelligence. If this is something that you're struggling with, this is something you want to fortify yourself in, please give me a contact at real_Moe Nelson Speaks on IG, Moe Nelson on Facebook, Moe Nelson on LinkedIn, and Moe Nelson Speaks at TikTok. I answer my DMs. If you need help, I'm here. I want to provide value to you. I look forward to hearing from you.
There we go, man. And one more thing, man. You got to have faith in everything you do, and faith as a mustard seed. I always tell people a mustard seed. If you Google it, it's so small. Faith is a substance of things hoped for and evidence of things not seen. So remember that verse, that Bible verse.
Appreciate it.
Take that with you as we enter this new portal that we about to enter in this life and energy and going to activate people's gifts and emotional intelligence, man. I love you and I appreciate you and I'll see you soon.
Likewise,
Thank
bro.
you, bro.
Mutual, bro.
Appreciate you.
Thank you, bro.
It's a capsule.
They're mad cause he told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad cause he wanna be you. They're mad cause you told the truth. That's why they mad. They're mad cause you.
Okay, check it out. I hear the stuff they say about me, but they can't say I ever ran.
Become the best at your job, the best recruiter. It makes them so mad when they go home. I bet it does. And I can say it with a smile on my face because I was that soldier. You never gave me an opportunity to excel. I'm going to excel so hard that my name ring bells that you would have said, you're going to have to say, that was my soldier one day. That was. What happened then? Why are you here and he there? Because you tried to stunt my growth. So I would tell you guys, just continue to grow. You're going to upset a lot of the seniors, but the way I hear y'all division in y'all company, y'all brass love you guys. I talk to y'all brass, Turcotte, your commander, all of them, Turcotte and all of them, they love you guys. Y'all are leading the way. So long as you do numbers and stay within the regs, they're gonna keep putting y'all in a position to win and just keep winning.